Is AI going to replace you as a coach or a consultant? I've asked myself this question maybe more times than I'm willing to admit. When people can get endless answers and can get coaching, consulting, any form of support from ChatGPT in seconds, where do I stand? Where do any of us stand? What's the future of this? Here's what I really believe from what I know from 12 years in business. We're not done for, not by a long shot. I think we should be asking a different question. What can we do to make sure that we survive and maybe even thrive when AI really becomes a mainstream part of our landscape? I have a clear roadmap to help you get started with that. And that's exactly the work we're going to do in today's episode. By the end of today, you're going to go from perceiving AI to be a competitive threat to knowing that these AI tools belong in your toolbox and you know how to stand out as the expert you are. Let's do it. Welcome to the Establish Yourself podcast, the show that helps coaches and consultants get clear on how to talk about what you do, simplify your offers, and have more fun in your business and beyond. I'm Annie Franceschi, brand strategist, author, former Disney storyteller, and forever Muppet fan. I'm here to help you clarify your message, package your expertise, and streamline your systems to grow a business you actually enjoy. If you're ready for less confusion and more magic, it's time to establish yourself. I've started noticing patterns. The people who are still getting hired, the people clients actually seek out and pay premium prices for even when ChatGPT exists, they're not the ones who generate the most content. They are the experts who have something that AI just can't replace: their own branded frameworks, their unique intellectual property, their distinct point of view, their voice, their story. Our answer to AI isn't to compete with it. It's to become so clearly you that you become irreplaceable. There are a lot of copywriters out there and brand strategists. There are probably hundreds, if not thousands. But you know what? There's only one person who does package your process. There's only one person who's written the best-selling business book, Establish Yourself. And that's me. And the same is true for you, or at least it can be. The problem is we find ourselves in the middle of a race to the bottom. People are posting content that ChatGPT creates for them, and it's just making more noise. It's generic, it's forgettable. So if you don't want to be just another source of information, what's the alternative? To put it simply, the future for coaches and consultants is protecting, staking out, and naming your intellectual property, branding it so it becomes less an idea and more a real asset. I often say we don't have the luxury of just selling coffee cups. People know what a coffee cup is, it's packaged, we buy it. When it comes to our services, it's on us to give them shape, a container, a recognizable product that people can buy, that people can sell, and that they can share and refer and remember. And if we don't do that, we disappear. You want to be creating frameworks, intellectual property that passes the 3R test. That means whatever you create, it needs to be memorable, repeatable, and referable. Let me break this down. It needs to be memorable, which means it sticks in people's minds and they can recall it when they need it. Repeatable means that your clients can use it again and again to get results. And referable means it's just so clear and valuable that your clients can't help but tell their friends about it and share it with others. When you create frameworks, systems, methods, approaches that pass the 3R test, you're not just teaching concepts, you are building intellectual property that becomes synonymous with you, not with endless unfiltered information within ChatGPT. I have an entire series that dives deeper into this concept. It's episodes 33 through 36. I'll put a link in the show notes, but here are the 3 things you need to know to start putting this into action. Think of it as a roadmap to stop seeing AI as competitive and more as supportive to your work of establishing yourself. 1, start with your original thinking. AI is only as good as the questions you ask it and what you actually do with the output. And the gift and the curse of tools like ChatGPT is that they are endless. They are yes men. You can go to them and be like, "Hey, Chad, I think I want to spend the next 4 days eating ice cream in bed." And it'll be like, "You go, girl. Can I help you find a Ben and Jerry's at your local Target? What flavor are you hungry for?" Like, that's not what any of us need. Where we need to start, and where I think people are messing up these tools and creating slop, is we need to start with our original thinking. You have to start with the lived experience that AI can't generate. For me, what this looks like when I do the show every week, when I do the podcast, I will start with original thinking and with original language and phrasing. So, what I'll often do is I'll open my cell phone and I'll go to the voice memo app. So, on an iPhone, it will actually not only record, but do transcripts now, by the way. And so I will just talk out my ideas. That's how this episode originally started, was me talking through my ideas of how we respond to AI. And I start there, and then I will use AI tools to help me organize that information and later to repackage it. And I'm helping my clients do the same thing, not only building custom GPT bots, but just even using these tools live in our work together. So when we partner to kind of pull out your frameworks and help you get clear on your story, we're using AI, but in supportive ways, not only for research, but also for taking your original phrasing, your original ideas, your original stories, and just doing some of the heavy lifting to organize that information. That is the right order of things. Original thinking first, AI assistance second. Here's what this can look like in practice. Before you ever go to something like ChatGPT, spend time capturing your thoughts. What patterns are you already seeing with clients? What do you innately believe about your industry or about your field? What have you learned through your stories? Record voice memos, write stream of consciousness down in a journal. It doesn't have to be perfect, but it has to be you. Talk through ideas with one of your friends or your colleagues. Get your thinking out on the playing field first. That is the organic matter, the stuff of gold where everything starts. This is the kind of work that I had to figure out when I wrote the book Establish Yourself before I was ever using AI tools. I started with a similar very manual process of a brain dump, kind of getting all my ideas out on big post-it notes and putting them up on the wall. This is no different, but I think this is where, if you want to be doing that work, to not just be anybody in your space, but the person who's known for and the person that someone's willing to spend even when they have access to ChatGPT, that's the difference maker, is starting to really share and get your voice down in anything you are sharing, whether that's a podcast, a YouTube video, a podcast, a blog post, even a conversation you're having over coffee, taking this time to just start sharing your original thinking. The second thing I want you to be thinking about is packaging your IP, intellectual property. I am seeing it. People are hiring experts still constantly. I'm still getting hired. I'm still getting work in the age of ChatGPT. And people are looking for folks who know how to use these tools. That's definitely a factor. But part of why they're seeking me out and others is because they want transformation and they want clarity from a real person. They want to connect with real people. I often say people invest in people, and they don't want endless answers. And when you can get anything you want from ChatGPT, it's overwhelming, right? I've had more people come to me than ever before, having spent all of this time, you know, 50 threads deep, 100 threads deep in ChatGPT, but they're coming to me because they're confused. They're overwhelmed. What we provide as coaches and consultants is not only answers or information, it is transformation and accountability and support and insight and our unique lived stories, things that AI is never going to be able to do, right? And the way that people find us has changed, and that these tools are important. So people are really in deep with ChatGPT, but then they hire me to help them name their businesses and develop their messaging, package their offers. But why? Because I have done the work to package my intellectual property, because I am known for something. I've put my stake in the ground. I am a person who has written best-selling books, created Package Your Process. I have the Establish Yourself podcast. I talk about things like the 3R test. I have taken my ideas and made them accessible to others and made them buyable by others. I have a human lived story organized into a system that's super appealing because it isn't endless. It isn't open ended, it isn't disorganized, and it doesn't promise a million different tangents. What most of us want is not endless information, but clarity and transformation. And I don't know about you, but I know that coaches and consultants at the top of their fields, that their top talent, are experts at this. They are the people you trust and go to. And I don't see that ever changing, certainly not in the near future or in the next 5 to 10 years. Because when you can get endless options from AI, what really matters is getting clarity. And you are going to trust more what a human expert tells you than what ChatGPT says. And often that is the difference maker in transformation. When you have clarity, a roadmap, and a real person bless what you do, you take different action. If ChatGPT will say yes to anything you want and a coach won't, there's a difference maker. There's accountability. There's change there. So, what I want you to be thinking about is starting to take what you know and organize it. This could look like an acronym or a step by step method, a visual model or a framework, a proprietary process that has a branded name, a set of principles or rules that you teach, things you're already doing. When I'm working with folks that I've known for years, they teach so many good things, but they never package it. They never make it, memorable, repeatable, referable, that 3R test, which in and of itself is a framework. The key here is to make this yours, to give what you believe and what you teach a name. Use it consistently. Teach it again and again, even if you're bored of it. There are other examples. I think of Marcy Rader, who is a high performance coach, and she has a framework called Reclaim Your Workday. There's a book that goes along with that. It sets up a whole system of branded intellectual property for her. There's Sheila B. Robinson, who has her Create framework for helping you create rave worthy courses as a service based business owner. This is about being willing to not just talk about stuff, but to organize it for people because our brains are overwhelmed, right? We have endless access to ChatGPT and other AI tools. So, how are you making your concepts and systems recognizable and usable? Our brains are craving organization, systems, and clarity, and you can hand it to people on a silver platter if you're willing to be clear about your messaging and what it is you're offering and your frameworks. How are you talking about this? I talk a little bit about this in my book, Establish Yourself, and I say it's really about think of it like creating your signature songs, and that's foundationally with your overall messaging, but also about anything you talk about in your thought leadership or your work with clients, you are writing down lyrics and you're setting a melody. And if you perform it often enough, if you're consistent enough and you get out in front of enough of the right people, then you build a fan base. Then you have an audience that can sing it back to you. I think where you've succeeded here if you start hearing people use your brand vocabulary, cite your frameworks by name. That's when you've created something valuable and memorable, and your folks are singing it back to you. Which leads me to point 3. How do you start to do more of this? Build your body of work. Now, I have an entire episode about this. It's episode 33. But for today, what I want to say about it is that don't think of endless creation. None of this that I'm saying today is about, wow, I just got to be so unique that I'm going to say the things that no one has ever said before. I've got some more episodes coming up about that soon. But what I really believe is that what changes the game for you is a willingness to package what you do and then to use it over and over and over again, repeatedly sharing what you believe, putting it into systems and frameworks, and building a body of work over time. There's nothing more harrowing to me than writing a book where you have to put together what you believe about your work, whether that is business or leadership or inclusion or nonprofit strategy, whatever your topic is. But it is hard work to define your point of view, to think, are there systems here to recognize and name and make repeatable? But that very work is what establishes you as a top voice in your space, that makes you irreplaceable by AI, that actually leads AI like ChatGPT to recommend you. That's one of the huge surprises I experienced last year. ChatGPT has now actually referred people to me when they are looking for experts in my space. I want that to happen for you, but it doesn't happen without the pressure and the opportunity to start building a real body of work. You start building a body of work by challenging yourself to do something consistently. So that might be a series of LinkedIn articles or LinkedIn Lives. It could be a set of master classes. It could be a podcast. It could be a series of blogs. It could be a live event. It could be a networking event. It doesn't have to be a speaking event. Whatever it is, you want to start challenging yourself to show up in a consistent way and have a container in which you are forced to start documenting your original thinking, start sharing it, start packaging it. It's one thing for me to say, package what you do into a signature approach or an offer. But if you never talk about those things and you never put enough pressure on yourself to like make them useful or usable, you'll never do it. And this is the key difference. Like, I have created more frameworks and systems and sticky vocabulary in the past 12 months than I probably have my entire business. And what's the difference? I have a weekly podcast for the past year. So every week I got to come up with something useful, right? So that's why like the 3R test even exists, is because I needed a way to teach it on the show. So I want to encourage you to be thinking in that way, that if it is a goal of yours to not just be any coach or consultant, but to be that established expert in the age of AI, the path forward is not only to package your expertise, to package your process as I teach, but it is to start challenging yourself to come up with more of them and sharing them out to build your body of work. As I've been sharing today, this is exactly the work I do within Package Your Process. I help experienced coaches and consultants like you take what's in your head, all that expertise and experience, and turned it into clear signature offers, branded frameworks, approaches that you can use, teach, and sell. I do this through a one-to-one service as well as a 5-week group cohort. But this is what ChatGPT knows I'm known for. It's what I believe in. It's the culmination of work that I've done for more than a decade. And here's what it's taught me. Having your own frameworks don't just make you more marketable, they make your work more repeatable, your results more consistent, your business more scalable, and it sets you up to survive and even thrive when new technology like artificial intelligence arrives. If you're curious about working together, set a free consultation with me now at greateststorycreative.com/consult, and we can take a look together at what's the best next step for you. Let me bring all of this together for you today. AI will not replace you, but only if you take on this work of making yourself irreplaceable. Here's what that means. First, start with your original thinking. Do not outsource or second guess your best ideas to AI. Capture your unique insights, patterns, stories, and perspectives first. Second, package your intellectual property. Turn your expertise into branded frameworks that are memorable, repeatable, and referable. Third, challenge yourself to build a body of work. Don't just teach concepts, organize them, name them, share them consistently until you're really known for something specific. Don't endlessly create, double down, and build a real ecosystem of thought leadership. Here is my challenge to you. I want you to make this year the one that you work on defining your frameworks. Don't just put out an article, challenge yourself. Could you organize it around your own unique model or method? Think about what you really believe and how you could make it easier for people to use it, to repeat it, and refer to their friends. I don't really believe that we have to fear AI. I think that these are incredible tools that help us increase our productivity, help us get answers to important questions, and help us keep moving forward. But we do need to put AI in its proper context. And we have to trust that people want to hire people. And I want to believe that's always going to be true. Because look, ultimately, I believe that this starts with us owning our stories and inviting more people into them. So stop worrying about saying the wrong thing. Start taking action, imperfect action based on your story. And before you know it, you'll establish yourself. Hey, do you like surprises? The credits are about to roll, but just like a Marvel movie, stick around to the end for something I put in just for you. Thanks for listening to the Establish Yourself podcast. I'm Annie Franceschi, and if you're enjoying the show, it would mean so much to me if you follow it, leave a quick rating, or share it with a friend. And for free branding resources and more ways to work together, head to greateststorycreative.com/podcast. Now here it is, your moment of magic. I'm excited to tell you about a program I wish that I'd had the idea for, but I didn't. It was created by my friend and colleague, Megan Meganson, a woman so incredible they named her twice. She has a brand new program called Sabbatical School. And this is where she is helping intentional business owners step away from their work to rest, reset, come back with more clarity, and actually get the tools to take a sabbatical. I know many of you know that I take Batch December. I take an entire month sabbatical every single year. I love that she's doing this. And if you have been dreaming about taking a real break this year, I would encourage you to go check out Sabbatical School. I will put the link here in the show notes, but you just need to know about Megan. If you love rest and hate burnout, she's somebody that needs to be in your world. And I am so grateful she's in mine.